and I'm here with TALKOFHIPHOP.com today with the businessman and production event planner, Mr. Carl Freed. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, man.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us today. So are you excited about what's to come with Summer Jam this year?
I'm excited. It's always an interesting word, but sure.
So you've been with Summer Jam since the beginning. Can you kind of just briefly tell us how it has transpired over the years and now ending up here at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey?
Certainly. Summer Jam #1 was in 1994 at it was then called the Brendan Byrne Arena, which became the Continental Airlines Arena, which is now the Izod Arena. And we were there for 7 years and then had a large riot in year 7 and had to move to Nassau Coliseum for 2 years. And then Summer Jam 10, I convinced the people who ran Giant Stadium to let us enlarge the show and bring it to a stadium.
That's amazing. So now that it's here and it's been doing really, really well, what do you expect from this year's Summer Jam?
Pretty much more of the same. Summer Jam's about the guests and who surprises people on stage. And this year, once again, we have some pretty big surprises that I think are going to make the fans very happy.
Any you can tell us about?
Yeah.
Of course, but we tried. We definitely tried. How many people do you expect to attend this year?
55,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's the largest radio show probably in the world. It's the largest straight hip-hop concert in the world as well.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And can you just tell us a little bit about what you do with your company, being the CEO and owner of Trivana Entertainment?
Certainly. Trivana Entertainment is a live event consulting and production company. We also promote shows, and people often wonder what the difference between producing and promoting. And simply, a promoter takes risk, and a producer gets paid. So I do a little bit of both. Trivana Entertainment also has a lot of other clients, one of them being Red Bull. And we just finished doing 25 shows in May for the Red Bull Music Academy Festival, which is fantastic, and it segues right into Summer Jam.
And how did you get into this business?
Slowly.
Slowly.
I was the kid in high school who turned people onto new music. Started Trivana in January of 2003.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, if someone wanted to get into this industry and do the amazing things that you do, what would be probably your top tip for them?
To have an opinion. I mean, that to me is the most important thing. You need to have a specific plan, and you have to let people know that you think you know more than they do.
Do you?
I typically do, yeah.
I think so as well. Yeah. Now, being that Summer Jam has been here for quite some time, can you think of maybe one Summer Jam where you were just like, you went home and you were just surprised yourself?
Yeah, that was 2013. Lil Wayne was at his peak at the time, and he was going to be our last kind of surprise performer. 11/29, he still wasn't on stage, and we also had severe lightning warnings. And we have 55,000 people in the stadium. He hasn't gone on stage yet. He wants to go on stage. I've got the state police and the people running the building saying he can't go on stage. I'm saying he has to go on stage. And so he did for about 3.5 minutes. Then we pulled the plug, and literally when we pulled the plug, there was a lightning storm like you've never seen in your life. And so all the people we had an emergency evacuation right at the end of the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was kind of exciting.
Yeah, I mean, just to think about it, I'm sure that was just like the perfect ending.
Yeah.
The perfect ending. Now, being a part of this culture and doing so many things and being so influential, can you think back on maybe what was the first time that you fell in love with hip hop?
It was, well, it's funny. I just knew that that as a culture it was growing, and look, it already, especially in New York City, in the 80s it really started growing on BLS and on KISS, and then the station formats changed, and then Hot 97 came online in, I think, 1993. And in 94, when we did the first one, I had to convince my boss at the time to get involved with Summer Jam. He didn't want to do it. And it was going to be Summer Jam #1. And when we did the first one, and Queen Latifah was on the show, and Wu-Tang Clan, and SWV, I really just fell in love with, I've always been a huge fan of R&B, and then the kind of the natural progression into hip hop. And then when I did the Hard Knock Live tour in '99, I did a bunch of dates with Jay-Z and DMX on that. And then we produced the Up in Smoke tour in 2000 with Dre and Eminem and Cube and Snoop. And that was pretty big.
I'm sure that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
I can imagine some of the things that you've seen over the years.
Yeah.
So when Mr. Freed is driving home after a long day of work, what does he put on the radio?
It's a long drive because I live in Los Angeles.
Well, there you go. It's a few albums long.
It's funny. Most often, it's kind of indie rock. Occasionally, I hate to say this, occasionally hip hop, not that often. I'm a product of the late '60s, early '70s rock and roll, and that's always been my passion. And then I'm kind of a closet pop head. I did the first Backstreet Boys tour, I did the first NSYNC tour, and I love pop music.
So for me, I love new talent. So when I'll be at Summer Jam tomorrow, I'm excited to see the festival stage.
Yes.
For you, is it the same?
100%.
Why is that?
Seeing Iggy Azalea here on the festival stage, it's just fun to see, because you knew that she was getting a little big, and then you just know when a performer gets on stage if they have it or not. And she...
So you're pro Iggy?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are giving her such a...
I think she's fantastic.
I as well. Well, thank you. And my last question for you is, being that you continuously do great things, and I'm sure it's only going to get even bigger and better, what's next for Trivana Entertainment?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I pride myself in the company is we're so diverse. We do so many different things. And so our next show after this, we're doing James Taylor at the Apollo Theater, and it's going to be fantastic. And then we're doing a bunch of shows for Starwood hotels all over the world. We're doing a show in Miami on June 26th, in Beijing on July 4th, in Madrid on October 30th, Mexico City in July. We're doing John Legend in LA in November. So it's just being able to do something different every day. And I think people come to us as a company because, number one, we're hands-on. We're not like the big AEGs and the Live Nations that kind of farm their stuff out to people that don't really have an identity. And people like working with us, and I like being hands-on with all my clients. And so that's very important. And I've got a great partner, Cynthia Argo, and she takes care of New York when I'm in LA, which I'm in LA probably 8 months a year. So
Where it's warmer.
yeah, it's where it's warm.
I totally agree. I was there in March and didn't want to come back.
Yeah, it's fun though.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. I know you have to run, but I hope that you have much success with everything. And tomorrow, I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Just pray for sun.
You know what? It's supposed to be 79, right?
Yeah.
I think. Well, we hope so. But I'll be here.
Okay.
And hopefully I'll see you. And if I don't, I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
This is Carl Freed, and I am the TALKOFHIPHOP.COM.
Perfect.
Yay!
One take, baby.
One take.